Today I'm doing a very basic demonstration of 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point perspective. This is part of my Making Comics and Zines class taught through Nashville Community Ed, and my students in that class, as well as my Artnerds on Patreon, will have access to this video first. I have some other perspective videos here on this channel, but I thought it might be nice just to have a really simple, basic run through. So the materials we're using for this demonstration are a large piece of paper, a 24-inch ruler, and a double-sided pencil. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the horizon line for our 1 point perspective. The horizon line is where your viewer, where your reader will see the horizon in the picture. So if you have a high horizon, you're going to showcase a lot of stuff on the ground. It could be a valley, it could be the floor. If you have a low horizon, you're going to showcase a lot of stuff that's higher up. It could be the sky, it could be tall buildings, it could be things on the ceiling. So for this particular demonstration, we're just going to have a sort of middle of the page horizon line. I'm going to mark it. And then in the middle, we're going to draw our vanishing point. And our vanishing point is the point in the image where the lines seem to recede and converge. Next, we are going to draw our lines radiating from the vanishing point. And for 1 point perspective, I like to just line it up straight through my vanishing point and draw it all the way through. So I have all of these lines radiating from my vanishing point. Go ahead and just go over that in blue. We're going to start by sketching in some cubes just so you can kind of get an idea of how they work in perspective. We'll use a ruler, and the top, bottom, and sides are going to be perpendicular to the picture frame. So that means they're going to line up with the edges of our paper. So we have drawn a square, and the next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw the top of the square. And that is when the lines converge towards the vanishing point. And the back of the square should also be parallel to the picture plane or to the horizon. All right, so we have a square that is below the horizon line, so you can see the top of the square. Let's draw a square above the horizon line. And we draw the grid just to sort of give us an idea of placement. It's most useful when you're fleshing out scenes rather than drawing individual objects. So for the square that is above the horizon line, what do we see? We see the bottom of the square. Now, both of these are really close to the vanishing point. Let's try drawing one that's further away from the vanishing point. So in order to draw the sides, we're going to line it up with our vanishing point. And something interesting happens. So we're no longer straight on with the square. We're now a little bit off to the side. That means we get to draw the side of our cube. And we do that the same way we do the top. Okay, so we've got one below the horizon line. Let's try one above. With the cube above the horizon line, you still see a side as well as the bottom. Okay, so we have some really basic 1 point perspective. What if I wanted to draw this cube all the way through? See, I didn't draw it deep enough. It needs to line up with these here. So what I'll do is I'll go ahead and draw my vertical lines. So this cube is actually much deeper than it looks. All right, so we've drawn one cube through. Let's do our above the horizon line cube. So I connect my top corners to my vanishing point. Then I connect my bottom corners here until they hit the line that connects to the vanishing point there. And then I draw a straight line connecting those back corners. I'm going to do the same thing over here, down at the bottom, and over here at the top. But life is made up of more than just simple cubes. Life is made up of more complex shapes. We have spheres, we have cylinders, we have cones, we have pyramids. So let's go ahead and draw a few of those. We're going to start with these cubes. These cubes are going to help make it easier to draw all of those other shapes in perspective. Okay, so for a circle, we are going to figure out the midpoint of our top and at the bottom of the cube, by drawing an X on both the top and the bottom, and that is going to give us our center. You can do that for the front and for the back as well, and then connect those 2 points, connecting them through the horizon line. But really, a sphere can be quite simple. You just have it hit all of the outside sides of your cube. All right, so we have a very, very basic sphere. We can make it look a little more spherical in perspective by drawing the hemispheres. Next, we're going to do a cylinder. We're going to figure out the center of our cube the same way. We're going to draw a circle, or in this case, an ellipse at the top. I'm going to draw an ellipse at the bottom. We're going to connect at the outermost sides. And now we have a cylinder. Over here, we're going to do a cone using the same technique. We're going to find the midpoint. We're going to draw a circle either on the bottom or on the top, and we're going to draw the point of the cone opposite that. I think for the purposes of this demonstration, we'll do an upside down cone. So we draw a circle or an ellipse at the top of our cube. And then we bring the sides down to connect at the midpoint. And then finally, we need to do a pyramid. Now, we're going to do a 4-sided pyramid because we've got a 6-sided cube here. Or I guess I should say a 4-facing pyramid. So we're going to find our midpoint, and we're going to bring that midpoint forward. And that is actually kind of useless, so I apologize for that. Okay, so we have drawn 5 different shapes in perspective today. We've drawn multiple cubes. We've drawn a cylinder, a cone, a sphere, and a pyramid, all in 1 point perspective. In our next tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how to start putting this perspective into perspective in terms of your comic pages. So I will see you guys then.